Good morning. Welcome to the recording of episode 175 of the Family Meeting Podcast.
Did you have to stop and think, like, okay, what are we recording? Which day is this?
I had to stop and look down to see what the episode is.
Yeah.
We have our notes here, which I know if you watch the video very long at all, you'll see that we're constantly referring to our notes. It's a good thing we have them too.
Well, 175 episodes in, so...
But when we don't have notes, like when we welcome you, beautiful YouTubers...
It's a lot of fun.
It's not great. It's terrible. Thomas does
that
things
isn't true.
That are weird. I have less control over him, which
you know
is
why?
a problem.
It's because I am hashtag blessed.
Hey, I'm hashtag blessed. You're going to burn your fingers now.
I am blessed.
There you go. I've been singing this morning about that song. I feel blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I've been singing it, but I can't think of the words.
Yeah, she sings songs and doesn't have any idea what she's singing. She makes it up. She goes...
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Got this heartbeat in my chest.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
But it's a big week for somebody around here. Somebody's turning 40.
Stop it. Stop right now. Someone's turning 39.
Yeah.
That is a
39.
long way. I am in my 30s.
She's 39.
I'm in my early 30s.
Early?
Yes, early 30s.
Yeah, right.
I am turning 39 today.
Quote unquote 39.
Why are you saying quote unquote? You make it sound like I'm lying. That's how old I'm turning.
Okay.
I was 38 yesterday.
She was 38 yesterday.
I'm going to hurt you. Oh, you make me so mad. I really am 39 today. Don't say anything.
We believe you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We believe you. So what are you doing for your birthday?
We are leaving. We're getting out of Dodge, y'all. Thomas has booked us a condo by the beach.
Yep.
It's just in the island, which is like 3 hours south.
3 hours south of here, yeah.
And we really like that area. I'm going to have a good time. So he told me, he said, I want to take you away for your birthday. You can decide if the kids go with us or not.
Are they going?
The kids are going.
All 6 of us.
Yep.
Coconut staying back with Grandma.
Yeah. And Thomas and I are going to have a date night while we're gone. We're going to leave the kids at the condo, which has like a kitchen and everything, and they'll have their Hot Pockets or TV dinners or whatever they pick from the grocery store that's easy and cheap.
Yeah.
And junk food. And then we're going to go out to a nice dinner one night.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
I am very excited. I'm very happy. But I'm happy to be with you this morning on my 39th birthday and get to spend a little time with you.
How do you feel about turning 39?
It's weird. I don't think 39 is old. I don't.
Do you think 40 is?
I used to, yes. I don't really now, no. But I used to feel like it was very old.
But psychologically, how do you feel being that close to 40?
I don't think I care.
Because you felt 40-year-olds were like grandmas growing up.
Yeah. My mom turned 40 when I was 12, and I thought it was the end of her life. I remember thinking, like, I can't believe my mom's so old. I'm so sad. I'm going to lose her soon.
Yeah.
So that was how I felt as a 12-year-old.
She's still hanging on.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, so I don't feel like it's old now, but I sure did. And I also know that, like, people who are in their teens and 20s look at me as old.
Yeah.
Which that feels weird. Because I'm like, no, you guys, I'm not old. And yet I'm like, I know what I thought when I was your age. So
I'm a seasoned middle-aged woman. I'm not old.
Thanks.
I'm well seasoned, like a good steak. Tender and well seasoned.
I don't even know what to say to you. But we need to get this recorded so we can get moving. You gotta celebrate me today, so we gotta get going.
Celebration. I think we should just change this episode to karaoke for an hour. What do you think?
I wouldn't even watch that. I wouldn't even listen to that.
Yeah, you would.
I think I would leave.
I did karaoke at church.
Yeah, you did. You sang Jesus Loves Me yesterday. I sang it too. I actually really enjoyed that portion of the service because, I don't know, it was just, that song has been special to me for as long as I can remember. And it's really beautiful words.
I was surprised how many people in our church went to Sunday school and learned that song.
Really? Okay. It didn't surprise me, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I kind of thought, oh, everybody knows it. Everybody went to Sunday school.
But what's cool, what surprised me, because obviously our background is kind of strict Baptist. And of course, as strict Baptists, you're the only ones who do it right. So we have people from all different denominational backgrounds. So to know that many people from all these different backgrounds had Sunday school and learned the same songs.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me.
Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So
it was great. It was really neat.
it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm in the karaoke thing this week. I figured we just roll with it.
That's great. I need
So-
to set this coffee on. Sorry.
Episode 175 is a milestone.
Because
Because it's 175.
I'm tired.
To make it special, we're going to compromise. We won't do an hour of karaoke, but we'll make this episode a musical where we sing our parts.
I pass.
Gather round, everybody.
Oh my gosh. You have to stop. Like sometimes you just have to stop. Just stop. Just go ahead and read.
But on the TV shows, sometimes they'll do for a milestone episode, they'll turn the episode into a musical, even though it's a comedy or something else.
Those are for really talented actors and singers.
Thank you.
I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying so hard.
At least I'm not 39, whatever.
You're 43. You are old. You're so old.
Gather round, everybody. It's time for a family meeting. The Family Meeting is a show that's all about family relationships. We're the Osterkamps. I'm Thomas, and this is my 39-year-old wife, Lysandra.
Hello, and welcome to our family. Welcome to episode 175 of the Family Meeting podcast. We are so glad you're here. But on today's episode, we're going to talk about a topic that you don't want your children listening in on. So this is your warning. Yeah.
These are the episodes I typically enjoy.
Honey, it's not sex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But you know what?
Carry on.
This may be even more detrimental to your children than accidentally hearing an episode on sex.
For some of it, it could be. Yeah.
So I'm telling you guys, this is your chance to get your kids out of the room. If you don't want us to be the ones who ruin your children's childhood, make sure they aren't listening. If your kids are listening in with you, or if they can hear, put your earbuds in, push pause until you can listen to this, episode in private. Because this week we're talking about the pressure in parenting, no kids around, to be all the fairy tale characters. This episode can apply to grandparents as well, because I know a lot of grandparents participate in creating a really special childhood for their grandchildren. I love that. But we're going to talk about the pressure of being the tooth fairy, the elf on the shelf, the Santa, the Easter bunny, the Krampus.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in today's episode. We're going to talk about all of that today. And it's a challenge to carry on these traditions. And we feel your pain because we've been there. So we're going to share what we did, what we do now, and why. And we also have some fun stories to tell you that we hope that you will enjoy.
And I just want to say right off the bat, this is not a 45-minute monologue on why you shouldn't be Santa for your kids.
Yes. Yeah. We are not telling you to do Santa, to not do Santa. We're going to talk a little bit about that and the different perspectives, but we are not telling you what to do at all.
If you can pick one, I would pick Krampus, but you'll know when we get there.
Yeah. How come the Grinch isn't a thing? Like where you destroy your children's Christmases?
That's pretty much Krampus.
I know, but the Grinch is so cute.
Yeah.
You would be a great Grinch.
Yeah, that's true. I am that in just regular life, so.
Right.
Before we jump into this very magical episode, got something else magical we want to talk about.
Let's hear about it.
That is our members-only group coaching call. Monthly group coaching call for our members only. And that is live on our website right now. You can go to familymeeting.org, hit shop, and you'll see a few different things on there. Look for the group members only coaching call.
I'm so excited about this because I can't wait to interact with our listeners. So often we're just talking into the microphones and we get messages from our listeners, which we absolutely love. But this is going to be a real opportunity to interact and get to know you, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be more of a two-way conversation. Cost is $6.99 a month, and here's what's going to take place is we are going to have that group coaching call. The beginning of that call will be similar to a podcast episode, just very short form, very focused. There will be a worksheet that goes along with the discussion so that you can take actionable steps in whatever it is we're talking about that week. There is a members-only private Facebook group, and we're going to do some monthly giveaways in that group along with some other things, some challenges and some things like that. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be a great way for us to take steps together in our relationship so that they can become everything that we want them to become. It's one thing for us just to sit and listen to something. You know, we have podcasts and audiobooks and other things that we listen to ourselves. And that's great, but there's often times where I want to stop the author or the host and say, well, what about... And you can't do that.
Right.
Well, in this, we can do that. We can have more of a discussion and get into what's going on in your life.
Yeah, and we got a really interesting question from someone who had heard about this members-only group coaching call and everything. And they're saying, well, what if you're an empty nester? What if you're a grandparent? What if you never had children? Why would we join this? And I thought that was a really great question.
Yeah, and it's basically... like the podcast, we're not covering just parenting. So it's not just, hey, if you've got kids in your house, this is for you.
Right.
No, you have family relationships that you want to work on, that you want to be the best they can possibly be, then this is for you.
Right.
And so now is the time to jump in. That first call is coming up very quickly, February 29th. And we're going to be talking about conflict resolution in your marriage.
This is one of my very favorite topics that we ever talk about because it's applicable to everyone. We all have conflict in our marriage. And how do we deal with it? What do we do? What are the steps we need to take? And I love this one. This one's my favorite.
So we're gonna help you take some actionable steps in this area of your relationship. And I think it'll be a profitable time for all of us. And so 2024 is going to be an exciting year for family meeting as we reach out and do some more things, offer some more things. This is just one of those things, and we'll keep you updated on some other things happening.
Awesome. And then I do have one question that maybe people are thinking about, and that is, what if on February 29th, I am booked all day long, I have work, I have appointments, I can't be on that Zoom call? Do they miss out?
They miss out on only one aspect of it, and that is you're not able to get on live and ask your questions.
Right.
But we will be recording the call, and we'll post that in the members-only Facebook group. That's the only place it'll be. And so
they can...
Once again, if you're a member and you're in that private group, you don't have to worry about missing out on anything. If you can't be there that month for the call, you'll still have access to all the information, to the worksheet, to the video. You can still follow along, take the actionable steps. And then if you have questions in the comments under the video right there on the post, you can say, hey, missed the call this week, but wanted to ask about, and then put it there. And it's a place where it's more of a private, more of an intimate setting. So we're going to see your message. We're going to reply to you personally. You have that access to us to give us your ideas or ask your questions.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is going to be great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about our episode today and get into our conversation. We are talking about all of the pressure to be the different fairy tale characters. And the reason we're talking about this today is because it was very recently that people were talking about the Elf on the Shelf and all the stuff that they were doing there. And I remember thinking, I'm so glad Elf on the Shelf didn't exist when our kids were little, because we never had the pressure of doing that. And of course, it did exist back then, but it wasn't big, so I didn't know about it.
I don't remember ever hearing about it until the last 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, me too. But we're gonna talk in a second about the history of it. But what I realized is there were other parents who were like, oh, it's so hard to be all these things. They were commenting on social media. And I'm like, oh, that's a great episode idea, because it's just something you do as parents. You just do it. You know, you get the tooth at night and leave the money. You wrap the presents and put them under Christmas Eve and become Santa. What?
I said, do you?
Well, we'll get to my failures in a minute, okay? But all of these different things. And so that's why we wanted to talk about this topic. And today is the end of January. In fact, it's the last day of January.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
31st. It's a special day. It's a national holiday. At least it should be.
It is in our house, I guess.
Lysandra Day.
Yes. Today is my birthday.
Yep. She is quote unquote 39. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't like you saying quote unquote, because it implies that I'm not actually 39. I'm saying I'm 39, but I truly am 39. Yesterday I was 38.
Wink, wink.
Oh, stop it.
What?
He wants to push me into 40 and I'm not there yet. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Being 40 is great, and I'll enjoy it next year. But I don't want to enjoy it this year.
People who use the phrase, not that there's anything wrong with that, there's something wrong with that.
No. I love all of you 40-year-olds. Thomas is 43, and I love him.
Do you?
Sometimes not as much as others, but Christmas was just very recent. I mean, we're only at the last day of January. Christmas was a blink ago, it feels like. And we were watching all these parents on social media show how they moved around the elf on the shelf. And we were in a home where the grandma lived with the daughter and the grandkids. And so both mom and grandma were in on the elf on the shelf. And we were in the home and saw the naughtiness that the elf was up to. And it was fun and creative.
Yes, very much so.
But also a lot of work.
Yeah, I respect parents and grandparents that have the energy to do that.
Yes. It's kind of a big commitment.
Yeah, I don't have that for that.
Yeah, not for that. But.
I saw a great post. This was a couple of years ago. That it was a post idea for Elf on the Shelf for parents and grandparents who are tired of doing Elf on the Shelf. And somebody had taken and eaten a whole plate of wings, and they took the bones and they arranged them to be exact height and stuff of Elf on the Shelf, put the hat on it and the shoes on it, and came up with some story about what happened to Elf on the Shelf. So then the Elf on the Shelf was done. That's a way to end it. If you're just like tired of it, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yes, end it and traumatize your children all at once.
Yeah, but it's over. So some of you are looking for a way out. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
You could create some sort of accident that your elf got into and they got decapitated.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I was thinking
like
more along the lines of like the elf went on vacation forever or moved to Mexico, like Cancun or somewhere nice.
Yeah, but then you can make like a little tombstone and put it in the yard for the elf or whatever. Or it could
Death
be
is a real part of life, I guess.
Or listen, this could be it.
He's getting ideas.
So at the end, instead of him going back to the North Pole, he could have an accident every year. And then you can put a tombstone up for that one. And then a new one comes to take his place every year. And so then you can just line up tombstones in the yards. It could be your family tradition.
So basically your house is the place where elves go to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be the tradition. And your kids could look forward to how he's going to possibly lose his life this year.
I am very happy that it did not really exist or that we knew of.
Now I wish it had, because that would have been fun.
You're crazy.
Let's talk Elf on the Shelf just a little bit more.
Okay.
But nicer.
Good. I'd like that.
So Elf on the Shelf was invented by Carol Abersold in 2004. Before there were scout elves, there was, Fizby, a pixie elf that Carol Abersold received when she was a child. In 1974, Abersold told her 3 children, she did not sell them, that the elf was there to keep an eye on them in the days leading up to Christmas and would report back nightly to Santa about their behavior.
And that's kind of a fun tradition, because there's already, he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, which my girls can call that song the perv Santa song.
He's like a creeper.
Yeah, they call Santa a pervert because he knows when you're sleeping and watches and everything. But anyway.
In that aspect, it doesn't make sense that they have to report back to Santa about your behavior. Either he sees you or he doesn't. Right.
Yeah. It's kind of I don't know. It's like adding in.
There's some holes in the story. Smart kids should figure this out. Come on, kids.
Aren't there always holes in all of these things, though? I mean, they're made up. So, well, okay. So decades later, Carol and Shanda was Carol's daughter, turned this charming little family tradition into the book, The Elf on the Shelf, A Christmas Tradition, and that's where it all got started. So with the support of their family, the book and accompanying scout elf figure debuted with a book signing in Georgia in 2005.
Marietta.
Yeah, and our first daughter was born in
2005.
Yeah. So Elf on the Shelf was born the same year Catherine was born.
Gotcha.
So Elf on the Shelf did exist the whole time that we had children. We just didn't know about it. But am I right in thinking Facebook didn't exist back then when Catherine was born?
No, it did not. No.
So that means, social media brings news to your front door every day, and you know exactly what's happening all over the world all the time in a way.
Yeah.
And so, we didn't hear about this until social media was bigger, I guess. Anyway, but we missed the whole boat on that, so we never had to decide whether or not we wanted to participate in Elf on the Shelf.
And like Elf on the Shelf, you as parents or grandparents have to make choices about which fairy tale characters you want to incorporate into your family traditions. And this is one of those things where it's like, well, how do you decide? Mm-hmm. Because, you come into a relationship and you have in your childhood what your parents did. Mm-hmm. And then I have in my childhood what my parents did. So then you have to come together, and this is one of those things you talk about. And you never think about it when you're like dating and you're talking about being married and having kids or whatever. There's never a, hey, do we do Elf on the Shelf with our kid or not?
Do we want to do Santa? Do we want to do,
So first of all, what kind of quote unquote fairy tales, quote unquote 39, did your parents do for you at your house? Wow, that's a snort.
I want to say none. I really don't think we had any.
You didn't, not even the Tooth Fairy?
Mm-mm. I don't think so. I remember taking my teeth to my mom. That sounds so gross.
Mommy, here's my tooth.
I would take my teeth to my mom and I got a quarter. Like, she took my tooth and gave me a quarter.
So it was just tooth exchange. There was no little fairy that went along with it.
No, we didn't do Santa. We didn't do an Easter bunny. I don't have any pictures with an Easter bunny. We did some traditions at Easter. Like we did a candy hunt. We didn't even do eggs, but we did like a candy hunt with coins, both. So they would be hidden around the house. A lot of times in Iowa at Easter, it's still very cold. And I remember one Easter there was snow on the ground. So my parents hid stuff all over the house and we hunted for it. But I don't even know that I knew about the Easter bunny, like till I was maybe a teenager. I didn't even know that was a thing. We didn't do Mayday baskets. We didn't do that kind of stuff. And I also now, as an adult looking back, just to let everybody know, including my parents if they watch this, I don't regret that. I had a lovely, happy, fun-filled childhood full of love. And I don't regret not having any of that stuff at all as an adult.
You don't regret that your parents were truthful to you?
Right. Stop.
I'm messing with YouTubers by glaring at them for
Yeah.
lying to their kids.
But listen, there are people who are very grown adults who are currently resentful to their parents for not doing Santa.
Sure.
So, like, I may be an exception to the rule. I don't know. I don't know how other people feel. But that's what it was in my house, and it didn't matter. How about you? What was your house like growing up for traditions?
We did not do Santa. I don't remember us ever having a conversation about Santa being real or not.
Did you kind of grow up knowing that Santa was not real?
I believe so. I don't remember ever doing Santa. For one thing, we didn't have tons of money or whatever, so my parents weren't giving credit to somebody else for
exactly
stuff they bought us.
Same with mine.
We did the Tooth Fairy. We did do the Tooth Fairy.
Who did the Tooth Fairy?
Probably my mom, but I'm not sure. And I don't remember when I found out that Tooth Fairy wasn't real. Like, there was no I caught a moment or anything that I can think of.
Now, Thomas has a brother who is 17 years younger than he is. So he was the baby, And did you ever do the Tooth Fairy for Jonathan? Did you ever help your mom with that?
No, I don't think so, because by the time he started losing his teeth, I would have been going off to college and stuff, so I don't remember doing that.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We didn't believe in the Easter Bunny, but we did all the hunts and the stuff like that. We did do Mayday baskets and things. So we had a lot of traditions around the holidays and stuff, but as far as the fictional fairy tale type things, the only one that I remember doing is the Tooth Fairy.
Okay. And do you have any resentful feelings towards your parents for not doing Santa or not doing Easter Bunny? Or
not at all.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, so that's just something to think about.
So we loved the holidays for all of our own little traditions we did, and so.
And I think that the thing to understand here is that there's no one way to do it. There's no one right way. Do what you're going to do in your home. Make your decisions about how you want to celebrate all of the different holidays and the traditions you want to implement, and make it special, whatever that looks like for you. You're not going to ruin your kids by doing it this way or doing it that way. Do what you're going to do and make it special for your family.
So, but the question is like, how do you decide that? How do you decide what you're going to do?
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to suggest some questions for you and your spouse to answer to help you decide.
And I like how you say you and your spouse.
Because you have to do it together, because you both have to be on board with something or it's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. So if you decide to do the Tooth Fairy, it can't be one of you deciding and the other one being like, hey, bring me your tooth.
Yeah, it's not going to work very well.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Tooth Fairy comes and other times Daddy just takes my tooth.
So, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
You both have to be on board.
Got to figure it out. Okay, so here's some questions to ask. What purpose will this provide? It's funny. This seems like such a simple question. What's the purpose of this? But how often do we do things without ever asking the question, what's the purpose of this?
Yeah.
All the time, right? Especially with traditions.
Yeah.
Traditions, you just do them because you've always done it. So is the purpose of whatever it is character training? Yeah. Is the purpose really just fun?
Which that's okay.
Is it okay to have just do things because it's fun?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay if you're like, the only reason I'm doing Tooth Fairy, the only reason I'm doing Elf on the Shelf is for fun, to create magical memories or whatever. Yeah. That's totally awesome. Legit. That's fine.
Is it keeping an age-old family tradition alive? This was so special to my grandmother, and she did it for my mother, and I loved it when my mother did it for me, and I just want to keep this tradition alive. Awesome. Is it because it means something to one of you personally? Is it because it motivates your child to be good? It's just easier than discipline. I can make the elf make my child
The
be good.
elf is the bad guy at Christmas.
Yeah.
We have another bad guy at Christmas we'll talk about.
Yes, we will.
So it doesn't have to be the elf.
Lastly, is it no purpose at all?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no purpose and it's like we're just doing this thing and we're bending over backwards and we're working so hard for this thing and nobody cares about it and there's no purpose behind it. We're just doing it because we've always done it. So ask this question and talk about it.
What about this one? Can we afford this long term?
No.
Yeah.
And when you do start with like your youngest child, you have to realize every child after that should really kind of get the same thing. If you're trying to be fair, obviously, like there are times when you have to be like, listen, it didn't work out, but for the most part, you want to have each of your children have the same quality childhood.
Well, yeah, or you have to have a way out. You have to have a
chicken wing bone.
Elfie slipped into the garbage disposal, type moment.
That's awful.
Where you have pieces of bacon thrown all over. Can you afford this long term?
You just want to create ways to kill this little thing, and it's creepy.
I'll see if I can come up with some more by the time we're done. I'm just trying to help somebody whose long-term plan, they didn't have one, and now they want out.
Right.
They just want out. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
So, what about this one? Do our kids care about this?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we as parents are doing something for us. It brings back a childhood memory or some fun thing for us, and our kids don't even care about it. And yet we're bending over backwards for something that really has no meaning to the kids and no purpose for our family.
That's a good question to ask. All right, this is a good question too. Do we feel like we're lying to our kids? And some people, this is the argument that they will even condemn other parents. When you tell them that Santa put those gifts under the tree on Christmas Eve, you are lying to your children. How could you do that? And on and on. My opinion is that's up to you. Like, if you want to do that. We did the tooth fairy with our kids. Technically, okay, we lied to our kids and said that the tooth fairy came in and took the tooth and left the money. Like, technically, yeah, you're lying to your kids. So are you okay with that? You gotta ask that question. What if one parent's okay with it and the other feels terribly convicted?
Yeah, well, and I think it's pretty strong to say you're lying to your kids. You're not trying to deceive them for some nefarious purpose. You're make-believing with them. For some people, it is the same thing as playing something with their kids.
Yeah, like playing a tea party and you come in dressed as the queen, which Thomas totally did that, by the way.
Yeah, so it's, there are people who are so adamant about you're lying to your kids. And I was joking with our YouTube people just a second ago about that, because I don't really feel that way. I feel like it's okay if you want to make believe and play this with your kids.
Pretend.
And pretend, exactly. But you may have, your spouse just may feel dogmatically like, no, this is lying. And obviously, as, the partner to that person, I don't want to make my spouse, hurt their conscience by feel like they're lying to their kids all the time. So, but I don't have that opinion. I think it's okay if you want to pretend in the fairy tale, the tooth fairy or whatever else.
Yeah, but it's something they need to talk about.
Yeah, you got to have the conversation,
right?
And it's good to at least know where your spouse stands on this thing. What about this question here? Do we even want to do this, or are we doing it because we've always done it?
Yeah, because I think sometimes both spouses can be doing it and hate doing it.
Yeah.
But you never talk about it, so you don't know that the other person hates it. And then finally you have a conversation, you're like, you hate this too? I hate this too. Let's not do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you got to ask some questions. Got to talk.
So, like, traditions are fun and all, but, if neither of you enjoy it, and it's just a burdensome thing, like, why are we doing this? It's okay.
Stop.
It's okay to start a new tradition. Mm-hmm. It's okay to do something different.
Yeah, and it's okay to go ahead and tell your kids. So let's say you want out of the fairy tale thing.
Contact me. I can get you out of pretty much any fairy tale thing you're doing. I have a whole list of accidents that these fairy tale creatures go through. Yeah. And I can end them all for you if you want.
That's a very helpful thing that you offer people.
Yeah. Free of charge.
Okay, so you can go Thomas's route, or here's another idea. You could just sit your children down in a family meeting and say, listen, we're going to tell you something. Might blow your mind, but it's going to be okay. Mommy and daddy are the tooth fairy, or Santa doesn't really exist, but it's a fun tradition for other people, so don't tell your friends about it. Do that.
So here's the thing. I just thought of this. I need to get this up on the website. So for free, I will tell you about the accidents and stuff. But if you don't want to be the bad guy in your child's story, I can tell them. I'll come in as a paid service, and I can ruin your kid's childhood for you.
Oh.
Then you don't have to.
You can be the bad guy. I like it when Thomas is the bad guy.
Yeah, so
he's a good bad guy.
Hit me up. We can negotiate. I
like it. I'm going to bring in some money.
So then it's like, okay, I don't have to ruin my kid's childhood.
Yeah. Thomas did it.
They don't have to know that I lied to them.
Right.
I can just tell them some horrible thing about Santa. What happened?
I'm sure people want to pay you to do that to their children.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to be the bad guy, and I can handle that.
But do let them know. Then this is what we did with our kids, because we never, ever pretended like Santa was real. But we told them it's a fun pretend that other people like to do, and we don't want to ruin it for them. We want them to have fun. So we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what we told them.
Because we didn't want our kids, even because we, it's not our choice to ruin it for somebody else. And so we wanted to make sure our kids know, you've got friends who their family does Santa or their family does whatever, don't spoil it for them. That's not fun. Even as a pastor, in speaking around certain holidays, I'm very careful about, because there's often whole families in there that may do Santa, and I don't want to be the jerk who's up there telling them, hey, Santa's not real.
Yeah. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. No. I don't want to be like Chandler when he goes to the one house that tells the kid he's adopted and Santa isn't real.
Right.
That jerk.
Yeah. Okay, so those are some helpful questions for you both to answer and talk about each of the fairy tale traditions that we find in our culture. Then you can more easily make your decision. All right, here's one important thing that we want you to understand, though. You are not obligated to do any of these fairy tale creature things, okay? You don't have to do these traditions just because other parents think you should. It doesn't make you a good mom because you're the tooth fairy. It doesn't make you a bad mom if you decide not to do the tooth fairy. It doesn't make you a bad dad if you just don't have the drive to stay up all night Christmas Eve assembling bicycles for your kids only to give Santa all the credit. That doesn't make you a bad dad. Whatever you decide to do or not to do, don't do it because of pressure from our culture or pressure from other parents, okay? We, Thomas and Lysandra Osterkamp, officially give you permission not to do whatever you don't want to do.
And that's the only permission you really need. I mean...
Right. Later on, when other parents shame you and condemn you for not doing Elf on the Shelf.
Thomas and Lysandra said, and give them our card.
Bam. Permission granted.
Yeah.
All right? Because I do think it's sad when some parents are like, oh, you don't do that for your kids? Well, I mean, not every childhood can be magical.
Yeah.
Wow.
The things parents say to each other.
I know. Like, come on, people. We're a community, and we need to love each other and help each other and encourage each other and stop the shaming. Maybe you're the shaming parent.
Yeah,
Stop it. Leave people alone. Let them do their thing, okay?
But yeah, you're free not to do these things if you want to come up with something totally new.
Yeah, like the lady who came up with Elf on the Shelf, Carol Abershold.
Why is there not a taco fairy?
Oh my. That sounds nice.
Like, you could play taco fairy and just come home and there's tacos.
You know, I don't eat tacos. I eat taco salads. And I don't really tell very many people I don't eat tacos because tacos are like such a thing right now.
It's not right now.
I don't want to be... no, tacos have never...
It's not like tacos are new.
Tacos have never been more important in our culture than they are right now.
No, they've always been important.
Taco trees. Did you see the meme about the taco farmer who was picking tacos off of the tree?
First of all, he wasn't picking tacos. He was picking tortillas, so
well, whatever.
Get your facts straight.
Anyway, I don't eat tacos, ever. I always eat taco salad.
We're not doing taco salad fairy. That just sounds stupid.
No, but it could be...
No, stop.
Okay.
Nothing with salad in it.
All right, fine.
That's just lame.
You can't tell me that I'm lame. I'm telling you, you're lame.
I'm not saying you're lame. I'm saying that would be the lamest fairy tale creature ever. Nobody's watching that movie.
Taco salad fairy. I think it could be great.
No.
Okay.
The crispy chicken ranch salad fairy showed up last night. What a magical day.
Sounds amazing. I love salad. I do.
All right.
What are we talking about now?
But
we are way off.
Most of these traditions, though, can be super fun.
Right.
And provide special memories that your children will cherish forever.
Yes. Even if you don't do them, and that's okay not to do them, it can be fun.
So let's kind of talk through some of these fairy tale characters or traditions.
Okay.
And kind of share some of our stories. We touched on it just a little bit, but I think going a little bit more specific. So first of all, Easter Bunny.
Right. And we already said that neither of us did the Easter Bunny. Now the Easter Bunny, is it like supposed to be a real creature that comes and leaves the Easter eggs full of candy? Is that what the people are teaching their kids?
Sure.
I actually don't even know.
Sure.
And I know that people have kids go get pictures with the Easter bunnies. Creepiest pictures I've ever seen in all of my life.
Why in 2024 can they not come up with a cute looking Easter bunny costume to take pictures with?
They're so creepy.
Why does he always look like he's about to murder all the children?
Just Google Easter, like creepy Easter. I don't even think you have to put the word creepy in. Easter bunny photos, and everyone will like give you nightmares.
Seriously, it is like the Easter bunny wants to eat all these children.
Yeah, it's very weird. But anyway, I don't know if people just go sit on the Easter bunny's lap and then they're told that this bunny gives eggs, which bunnies don't lay eggs. It's just weird. I'm not sure when this started.
Well, the whole Easter bunny and laying egg things, it goes way back to, ancient times. To fertility, both bunnies and eggs are signs of fertility and all those sorts of things. So it goes way
and
way
it's
back.
spring, like new birth and everything, maybe.
Yeah. So
okay, gotcha.
There are reasons behind why these certain things are chosen and talked about during that time. So a lot of it goes way way back. But I remember a couple of things. Easter was a special time for our family. Obviously, we know the true meaning of Easter, and we celebrate the resurrection, and we go to church on Easter and all those sorts of things.
Amen.
Which we as Christians think you should do. It's a pretty big deal that somebody died for our sins and then he rose again.
Yes,
so that he can offer us everlasting life. So that's the main thing that we celebrate. Most of our weekend is all about that. But I remember as a kid, we would go to Grandma's house. I believe it was the Saturday before Easter. And we'd have a big dinner. Maybe it was literally on Easter. I'd have to go back and talk to my parents. But Grandma Wise, we'd go to her house, have a big dinner, and then the adults would hide eggs for me and my cousins filled with candy and different stuff outside. So we'd stay inside. They'd go and hide all the eggs outside. And then they would let us out. We'd go all around Grandma's yard finding eggs. And then we also, at our house, my parents later on that day would hide candy all around our house. So we'd have to go upstairs into one of the bedrooms. And then downstairs, on our downstairs level, they would hide candy and money and different things all around the house. So we had like 2 Easter candy hunts.
Fun.
For one from Grandma, one from our parents. And we always look forward to Easter for that.
That's neat. And with our kids, we did an Easter egg hunt every year with their cousins. And Thomas's mom would always be really the driving force behind that. Grandma Osterkamp.
Yeah.
She would, we would have everybody over together and the adults would go hide the eggs and then we'd let the kids out. And we always let the little ones go first to get a little head start. And your mom always had a prize egg or a couple prize eggs with like $5, $10 in them. I mean, it was like a good prize. And it was always the big golden eggs.
Yeah.
And the kids always looked forward to Easter so much.
But we're talking about traditions. I don't know if my grandma did that for my mom, but I know Grandma did it for us grandkids, and then so my mom wanted to do it for her grandkids.
Yes, and she did, and it was so special, and my kids still, to this day, talk about how much they loved Easter when they were younger. And now, of course, we've moved to Florida, so we don't do that anymore. And our kids are a little older. I don't think any of our kids have a desire now to Easter egg hunt. Violet did the last couple of years, but I don't think this year she would even really care too much. But I think that's another thing to think about, too, is as your kids get older, do they really want to do this anymore? And if not, let them go. Let it be. May Day is a thing that you can do. We didn't do it. You said you did.
Years ago, like May Day baskets used to be a big thing. So May 1st, you'd go to your neighbors and you'd do the May Day baskets and you'd hang them on the doors or whatever with candy and treats and stuff in them. And so we did make May Day baskets and we handed them out to our neighbors. We would make little May Day baskets and take them to school for our classmates.
Okay.
So had popcorn and candy and just different things in there.
Yep. And we never did that with our kids because I didn't do it and you never talked about it. So that was something we kind of missed. I think one year our kids did it with your mom. The Tooth Fairy. We already talked about our childhood with the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we did with our kids. So we definitely wanted to do the Tooth Fairy. Now,
I always thought the Tooth Fairy was fun. It was always a fun experience to put your tooth under the pillow and wake up and have the tooth gone and money under there somehow.
It really felt magical, I bet.
It really did. It felt way better than, hey, Mom, here's my tooth.
I'm sure it did.
So I always enjoyed the Tooth Fairy.
So we would do the Tooth Fairy with our kids, but this is so unfair. I was the Tooth Fairy. You didn't do the Tooth Fairy.
That wasn't true. I did the Tooth Fairy sometimes also.
But it was my responsibility. If you didn't feel like it, I was stuck. And here's the bad thing about that. I'm early to bed and I have a really hard time staying awake. So I would put the kids to bed and try so hard to stay awake until they fell asleep. And then, once they fell asleep, I would sneak in and get the money out. Now, here's what was so tricky. All of our kids slept together in the same bed.
All
we
four.
Could not get them to separate. And by the time Catherine started losing her baby teeth, all 4 daughters were born.
So you'd walk into the room and not know who was sleeping where.
Yeah. So it was dark. We'd go in and I'd be like, no, that's
Okay.
Isabella. No, okay, that's Abigail. You always knew who Violet was. She was, 2 years younger than the youngest. So Violet, you pretty much knew who she was. But the older 3, you couldn't tell. And so I remember going in there and looking under all 4 pillows. And our kids would sleep like kittens in a box. That's what they looked like sleeping.
Yeah. All squished together, all over each other.
We have several pictures of them sleeping together because they were so cute in their little matching jammies. Anyway, and so it was really hard to be the Tooth Fairy when they were little. And the Tooth Fairy didn't last as long as I wanted it to. In fact, Catherine was the only daughter who actually got to experience the Tooth Fairy. And she's the reason why. Because one night I went in there to be the Tooth Fairy. No, you know what? I think I was doing the Tooth Fairy for Isabella.
You were doing the Tooth Fairy
So
for
Isabella maybe got to experience it a couple times, but Catherine was awake, and Catherine was our quiet, sneaky kid. She could sneak into the room and we wouldn't know she was there, that kind of kid.
There's still times where I will come home from the gym, make my protein shake and all of that, and not know she's on the couch over here.
Yeah. She's quiet.
She won't say anything.
Still.
She's just very quiet. Yeah.
So she was awake and she saw me take Isabella's tooth and put the money under, which we did $1. That was what we did. And I snuck back out. And rather than telling me that she saw me, she woke up all her sisters and told all of them.
Ruined it for everybody.
She ruined it for everybody. Which we can't really blame her. She was probably 6 years old and she had exciting news, But the other kids never really got to experience it, although they wanted to play. They wanted to pretend, even though they knew it was me.
Yep.
So we still did the Tooth Fairy for all of our kids losing their teeth.
For the most part, you got kind of lazy at the end where bring me your tooth.
When they were older. I still did it for Violet when she was little.
Went the Gilchrist route of...
Well, yeah, like at 12. Violet lost a tooth last week. She's 13, and she came to me and she's like, do I get $1? I'm like, yeah.
She has the tooth she needs me to pull right now.
I know. Daddy's the tooth puller. So this was really funny. I saved all their teeth, their baby teeth, and I was going to put them in a scrapbook, like along with their first haircut and stuff, which now looking back is weird. But but this is so funny. One time Isabella had to go get something out of my nightstand. And I was like, yeah, go upstairs. It's in my top drawer of my nightstand. And she went up there looking for something in my nightstand. And she pulled out a Ziploc bag of baby teeth.
She was horrified.
She was like, ew, why are you saving teeth? Why do you have a bag of teeth? And I was like, what? It's normal. That's a normal mom thing to do, to save your children's teeth. She's like, this is not normal. This is creepy.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I still have the teeth.
Listen to you.
I do. It's their baby teeth. I can't help it. Okay.
I will say this. If you've not watched the Teen Titans Go with the Tooth Fairy, you have to watch it.
That is
Me and the
funny.
kids love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Do we have enough time to talk about a really special fairy, Tooth Fairy?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You tell about that.
Okay, so if any of the Barry kids are listening, turn it off.
Well, we've already told we've given the warning, so I think we're safe.
But our good friends Brett and Heather, they would go above and beyond with Tooth Fairy.
I feel like they would sprinkle dust or something.
So they would do all kinds of stuff, and it was like Elf on the Shelf, but on steroids. And so
for the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. So Brett is able to write in like the tiniest print.
Legible, but tiny.
Tiny. And so he would write his kids little notes from the Tooth Fairy. And it was I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how in the world can you write that? I can't write normal. And they would do things like sprinkle things so you could see where the Tooth Fairy had kind of come through, track something in or whatever, just tiny little things. And so their kids were like looking all over the place trying to figure out, okay, where'd the Tooth Fairy get in and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot.
It was really fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And if I recall, Hannah was like 12 and still believed the tooth fairy was real. And I told my girls, do not tell her.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a long time to keep that alive and to convince your kid that this is real.
Yeah. Well, they were good at, convincing their kids of stuff, that
Oh, that's true.
land sharks were real, that it was like sharks, but inland.
Right.
So.
Okay, so we've already talked about Elf on the Shelf and Santa a little bit, but we have to talk about a couple of traditions that are out there that are super weird that I just wanted to share.
Well, they're weird for us.
They're not weird for other people.
Right. Other parts of the world have their own little things they do.
Yeah, like I want to talk about La Llorona.
Okay, I've never heard of this.
Me neither. But as I was like researching, La Llorona or something. Okay, it's in Latin America. It's a ghostly woman who weeps as she searches for her lost children by riversides.
Whoa, this is creepy.
It's super creepy. And this is the purpose. It serves as a cautionary tale for children to stay away from dangerous bodies of water. Or La Llorona will get you.
Oh my gosh. Give your kids a fear of water.
I thought that was really funny. Yeah.
That's way worse than like putting Elf on the Shelf in the garbage disposal, I think.
I think that might be worse. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have Sandman, right?
Yeah.
That's an older one. They even have a song about it. Mm-hmm. Mr. Sandman.
Oh, here we go.
Episode 175. We got to do karaoke.
Okay.
That's a shout out. All of our YouTubers know what we're talking about. But that's a Northern and Western Europe thing, mystical figure who sprinkles sand or dust on children's eyes to help them fall asleep. You see, and I think that's an easier one you could do because literally while they're sleeping, you just walk in and sprinkle sand on their face.
That's not a bad idea.
You wake up and your eyes are all sore with dirt in them.
I would do like baby powder or something instead, and I don't know.
Or Jack Frost. This might be my least favorite one because this mischievous spirit brings icy weather and frost to windows during cold months.
Okay. And then Krampus is one of your favorites from Central Europe. And
yes.
This is a horned creature who punishes naughty children during the Christmas season. So it encourages good behavior and serves as a counterpart to Santa Claus. So it's the opposite. It's the anti-Claus.
Yeah, so it's the original Grinch idea. And I don't remember when I was young ever hearing about Krampus. It wasn't until I was older. But there is a Krampus movie.
That is like creepy and stupid all at the same time.
But yeah, so it teaches, you talk about a tradition that teaches kids to behave, it's totally Krampus.
Our kids think it's hilarious, the Krampus movie. They want to watch it every Christmas. And I was worried that they'd be really scared from it. But
they want that to be their Christmas tradition.
Yeah.
It's like Krampus.
It's like he comes in and steals children who are bad or something, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't steal the presents. He steals the children.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This is what you can do around Christmas times. You can kind of warn your kids, like, hey, you need to behave. When Krampus come take you away. And then
it's so horrible.
One night while they're sleeping, you could dress up as Krampus and just like yank them out of their bed and then throw them in the van and drive them around.
I'm really thankful we didn't know about Krampus till.
And then you could have one parent like rescue them back, and I guarantee they behave after that. Guaranteed. Krampus
really
comes
horrible.
and steals them out of their bed at night while they're sleeping, and you got to fight to get them back.
We'd like to give you a second guarantee on that. They will need therapy for a long time as adults.
But you talk about it would be a fun way to make believe with your kids. I mean,
Yeah,
years
I don't
later,
think so.
you could finally explain to them Krampus wasn't real and it was just mom underneath the horned mask. But
Why do I have to be Krampus?
because I'm the hero.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's unbelievable. They would never believe that you could fight off Krampus.
Okay.
Now they would believe that I could.
Moms, in the right circumstances can lift cars off of, their children and whatnot. So
I've heard. I've not seen videos.
I
but
could do it. I could kill Krampus.
yeah, I don't know. But that could be your fun thing. You talk about starting new traditions. You're tired of Elf on the Shelf. Just take it up a notch and kidnap one of your kids in the middle of the night.
Yeah. We are giving some really bad advice today.
No, I don't think bad advice. I think it's just you got to be open to trying new things and giving your children new experiences. And if it just so happens it teaches them to behave, oh well.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. There you have it. Do
So-
we have a family meeting idea, babe?
Yeah, family meeting idea is just mom and dad tonight.
Okay.
Just mom and dad this week, and you're literally just having the discussion we just had.
Okay.
Like, what are the traditions your family did in your house? And it's always interesting to hear about some of those things. Even if you've been married for a while and you've never talked about it, it's like, oh, really? That's what happened. Okay. Your parents really kidnapped you in the middle of the night as dressed in a horn mask, and your dad had to fight him off to keep... Wow. Amazing. So you have that conversation about what you did, and then, okay, what do we want to do for our kids? Do we want to do the Tooth Fairy? Do we want to do Elf on the Shelf? Do we want to do something super cool and out of the ordinary like Krampus? So what are we going to do? And just talk about the reasons behind it. You know, and if you feel strongly about something one way or another, being able to express that, and probably be a little bit of a give and take thing, because like we talked about, it's going to involve both of you. If nothing else, you got to both be on the same page about what are we going to tell the kids about these things. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation to reminisce, but also plan what you want to do with your kids.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you found this information helpful, please share this episode on your social media and invite your friends and family to listen in with you.
To find more content information Lysandra and I provide, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org, or you can email us at info@familymeeting.org. If you'd like to shoot us a text or call us, you can send a voice message at 904-257-3062.
And we want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as we talk about Valentine's Day.
Oh, man, it'll be here very, very shortly.
Yes. When next episode drops, you will be exactly 1 week from Valentine's Day. So we want to talk about it a little bit ahead of time because we want to think outside the box this year. We're going to give you some ideas of how to make this Valentine's Day special and unique from other years.
And that'll give you exactly a week to do something.
Yeah, to plan for it and get it ready.
So we're here to help you out. We want to bring the romance up a notch in your relationship. So I think it'll be great. I love Valentine's Day.
I know you do.
I love anything that involves loving you.
I know. We always have a really special Valentine's Day.
Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned. So what do you guys think about my Krampus idea? I've never heard of somebody doing this, but I think it could take off.
I'm not loving it, but
I think it could be
we'll hear what you say.
The next big thing, like Elf on a Shelf.
Okay. Elf on a Shelf is cute and fun and mischievous. Krampus is terrifying and horrific and traumatizing.
Yeah, but I know a lot
different.
of parents have a hard time with kids. Kids get rambunctious and excited and naughty around Christmas. This is literally the thing that could keep them in check. Just boom. Okay. Seriously.
Tell us what you think.
I think it's a good idea. I think I might try it on my kids. Violet's small enough. I could still Krampus her.
Poor Violet.
So I'll let you know how it goes.
Thanks for joining us this week. Have a good one. We'll see you next week when we talk about Valentine's Day.
Hey, do me a favor. Have some cake for her birthday today. Bye.